Hey guys, what is going on? It's Ando. Welcome back out to the channel. We've got a really good GAC match here. Tons of counters, tons of really good strategy here. So I'm excited to bring this one to you guys. This one was pre-recorded. I wasn't able to do it live because I've just been insanely busy. I didn't even actually do round one. I don't know if you guys noticed I didn't upload a round one because I didn't do one. But ultimately, this was a really good round. I'll start this off. We're Kyber 1. Skill rating of 4033, and we're up against Lord Porg from the Big Chubowski. Now there's a little bit of history here. We just lost to them in TW, so it's a little bit of some drama building up. Let's look at his defenses really quick. So we got Bam, we've got Geos, we've got some resistance team, and we've got Mon Mothma, and all super fast teams too. And then we've got Lord Vader with JMK, Gas, and DR. Yeah, like I said, very hard defense, very tough speeds to beat. So I decided to go JMK Mirror, and this is playing a little bit faster, so I'm gonna have to try to keep up with this. But basically, I brought in Mace Windu because, right, Cat's just gonna kill someone, and it doesn't matter who, right? He kind of did the same thing by bringing in Plo. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip around that, and I'm going to kind of get to my ultimate first, right? Because I want to get Cat out first. Getting Cat out first means that they lose a lot of buffs, they lose a lot of offense, they lose a lot of defense, and then by killing someone, that is just exacerbated, right? Because of Cat's unique. So I'm just going to sit here and buy my time until JMK is... or my JMK has his ult. I really was trying to get the second ult here. You can kind of see I'm like, oh, is there a way? But no, there's not. So here we go. Now we're in ult. We can select whoever we want, and it's gonna be Cat for me as soon as I can kind of select someone other than her. All right, cool. So there it is. Anakin gets mad. AoE, just countering attacking. His kills Plo. So then I decided to go after JKA, kill them before ult. Hey, that's fine. That's like more kills that we can get before ult is better. And now we're just focusing on not losing any banners, like at this point. So, yeah, this fight's pretty simple. I know this fight. You know, this was my arena fight essentially. The only thing is there's a little bit of some, you know, some changes there with Plo Koon and Mace, and a lot of times I don't run JK in arena, and a lot of times I don't run Padme in arena, but this is a fairly simple one. That's why I decided to start this one off first. Like, I was like, hey, let's warm ourselves up into this. But yeah, again, just trying to make sure we don't lose any banners. I'll pop the ult if for whatever reason, you know, someone's protection, the bonus protection kind of running low, but should be good here. Just make sure, like I said, we just want to make sure that we have full health and protection on the 4 people that we have left. It is kind of a situation where it's not as cool because you don't get the full banners, but yeah, again, the guys that we have left, we want to try to get the full banners for them. Okay, so this is a fight that I've never done, right? I've never done JML versus Lord Vader. I've seen people do it. I've seen mistakes happen where people don't get it right. I've seen mistakes happen or I've seen people get it right. And so I decided to try my hand at it, right? First time, obviously, in one of the most biggest grand arenas that I think I've ever had. And here we go. So we open up with the Flux, and everyone's still dazed. So I think I just decided to do, yeah, okay. So I decided to spread out buffs, not really doing anything. So I use Shock T's Cleanse here, which is big. And then I go for the armor shred on Royal Guard. Again, you could probably just do, you know, inherited teachings, and then it's just really kind of spamming inherited teachings, right? Like that's the big thing. We know that Lord Vader is going to get his ult really quickly because Maul is on this team. So really, we just want to make sure we take down Royal Guard hopefully before he ults, right? And it does seem like we're going to do so. And again, just trying to kind of trying to find that healthy balance of like, hey, when do I call in GMY so that way he gets a lot of, you know, TM, that way we can get him, because obviously, you know, Lord Vader gains his ult off how many times we damage him. So just kind of a little bit of a game here, and then I'm going to increase Lord Vader's cooldowns. I don't want him doing the days right now. I want to wait until I have a solid, you know, I basically have my ult is really when I want to have this done. So there we go, ult is achieved. I'm totally good with Lord Vader now doing his AoE if he wants to do so. I'm gonna give GMY a little bit of bonus protection. We're not gonna pop ult yet though. Like that's, I think, one of the mistakes I've seen people make, because my GMY, he's a little guy, right? Like look at that right now, he has 12 dots on him. He would probably die if he's gonna go next, but here we go, we ult, we cleanse, and now he's only got 2 dots, right? So it's a huge thing to save him, right? While we're in that scenario. So okay, so now we're gonna kill TIE Fighter Pilot. All right, so that's done and all done. Like we're good with that. Now it's down to Lord Vader himself, and I think once you get to this spot, you're good. Now I do have an R9 JML, but I think you can do it with R8 as well. Put an armor shred on Lord Vader, again, just because it looks nice, and some of the other damages that aren't, you know, that aren't the inherited teachings are probably gonna do a little bit more. And then again, it's just about trying to keep his, for me, it's about trying to keep his cooldowns kind of managed, right? So there are gonna be some times where I ability block, there's gonna be some times where I do some of the cooldown move, and again, trying to find that balance of like, hey, where, how many more turns is the ability block, right? Because I don't want to ability block him and then increase his cooldowns. I want to just get it right. So there we go, we get a 60 on it. I don't know, I think that's probably about as much as you can probably hope for. Maybe a little bit more. Probably a few people had some missing health. Now this gas, I'm telling you, this gas is built to be really anti-CLS, which really just boils down to this gas is built the way that it should be built. At post nerfs, this gas is super thick. Normally I am like through the gas by this point. By that move I am through him. You can see I'm still on him. He's still countering. It's annoying. And then these 5s again is built to be kind of anti CLS. And again, I would argue that it, AKA, that is really just supposed to be how it's built, modding wise. So you see here, I'm going to take a little bit of a breather because I'm like, I don't know if we're going to kill here in time. I think gas is going to stand up. It really depends on Chupio and this AoE. Sometimes it can just wipe them all out. This time it didn't. I didn't get too many hits, and so gas is going to stand up at this point. I know this, and it's really about preparing ourselves for who he hits. And luckily he actually doesn't go after Han, because that could be where things get really bad. But in the old ways, right, of gas versus CLS, or CLS versus gas, that was like where you lost, right? And when he stood up, it was just like, uh-oh, here we go. But luckily now, like I said, he does better, he also does worse. It was more of a lateral move instead of a nerf or a buff. Okay, really fast DR, like 360 something, once we added in the unique from Talon. So I was like, okay, this is like where my Zam Omicron's gonna pay off, right? Like I said, this guy's speeds, his mods were really good. He's a part of a really good guild, PvP based. So here we go. So I like to go after Bastard Fallen. She just does too much stuff if we leave her go, and we get our contract right away, and boom, Darth Revan's out of there. Like, beautiful stuff. I just love this team now. Like, I don't have great mods on any single character on this team. And here's where we're gonna stall out a little bit. I remember, like, Sid Marauder he starts stealing. He has such a high health steal with all the buffs and all the other things part of his kit, right? Or all the debuffs, I think it is, that gives him the health steal. And he's extremely tanky because of how many buffs I currently have. So we get close, and then boom, look at that, he's right back to full health, right? And it's like, oh man. So we're gonna have to try to like buy our time here, and by reducing the amount of debuffs everywhere, he is gonna not, you know, health steal as much. So I think it takes us killing Malik before, you know, because that, you know, there's what, you know, 7, 8 debuffs on him. And so he gains it from the entire team, if I remember correctly. So again, like, he's hitting hard, he's health stealing like like none other. But again, I want to go after Malik. He is the #1. Like, it's okay if Marauder kills someone. It's not good for banners, but it's okay if it happens, right? Like, especially Mando, we can take that. And so now we finally kind of get through to him, and a lot of our buffs had kind of gone away too. So much better outcome. 64, right? We lost protection on someone. Okay, so I opened up the back, and in the back wasn't what I liked, so I just decided, hey, I need to keep some stuff. Normally I throw Vader on here, but I needed to keep something. Like, I just needed to keep things, so I just decided, hey, why don't we try this? And I'm just shocked by this. I have a 4-star Mara Jade here. She is 392 speed. I don't think that's like insanely fast. I don't think I have like crazy good mods on her or anything. But this is just fun. Like, there's just no other way of putting this. This is just fun. This team, being able to take out a team like Geo's, totally cool. Totally good with it. And I noticed that Poggle's like kind of about to go. So normally I like to just try to, spam the basics, but here we want to kind of stop Poggle from going, because he's going to cleanse everybody. That's going to be his first move. He's not ability blocked. So I went ahead for the stun. We got the stun. But even if we didn't, we would have boosted up a lot of turn meter, because that takes away all the shocks. And now it's just like, I'm going to just try to recover some protection. And I mean, honestly, TIE Fighter Pilot is just doing work. And like, I haven't seen him do that kind of damage for like ever, really. So kind of surprised by this whole team. And so it was just a complete show of how turn meter works there. All right, so Kyle Katarn, I think this Kyle Katarn was like 370 something. Like, it was very fast. Like, my Moff Gideon beat him by like 2 speed. So I'm in trouble once those Kyle Katarns go to 7-star with really good 60 mods, right? But if in the interim, right, I can just go ahead and outspeed them. Right, Moff Gideon is going to be one of those guys where he's just going to need to have a ton of speed on him. And easy win, right? 65. Okay, all right, so again, this is a 343 Queel. I don't have my Jolie because I already gave him up. But that's okay. It's not like this team really needs it. Now, I know that, like, I sit here for a while on who to mark, and I know that basically, like, you can mark Bam, but he's just gonna get a bonus turn. So I was like, okay, so why don't I just mark Dash, right? If I mark Dash, they lose some health, they lose some potency, and they lose offense. Really, the big thing for me is the offense. I don't want Bam one-shotting someone because he has 20% extra offense on all of his hits, right? That's not something that I truly want. So I decided to go for that method, and I think it pays off here. Because he will get, I think, like 15 or 16 birds and hit. And it's for the damage that we're kind of expecting. For those that have actually played against a Dash Rendar Bam team, they'll know that the birds hurt, right? 20% offense is a big deal. It might not feel like it, but it certainly will. It will take out a guy or a character faster than you are used to Bam taking someone out. So now I'm just going to focus on Queel because why not, right? He's already past that threshold of the bonus turn, so might as well just go ahead and finish Queel off, right? Lose some more offense, lose some more bonus stats, and just let Bam do his thing, right? He's going to sit here and put heal immunity or damage immunity on everyone, so I don't want to waste the mark at that point, so I just decided to go target IG-11 because, again, why not, right? And again, at this point, like, I feel really safe about this fight. Like, Bam by himself cannot, like, it's not like he's going to solo your team, right? He needs to have additional people to really boost those birds up. And so I feel fine with whatever he's going to do here, right? Damage immunity or go into birds. Either way is fine with me. And it's just more of a delay tactic at this point. And that's fine with JKR too, because you can go about trying to recover your protection in different ways, right? So yeah, we're just gonna wait for Bam to get out of his heal immunity. And there it is, right? He's back to 8 birds, and then I just decide, I think, to stun these guys and ability block, except Bam, dispel, and then everyone looks fine on health and protection, so I just decided to do an AO or the third special, and then Bam's gone, right? And everything's working out really well. Now these tanks aren't going to do anything. They're just gonna, at worst case scenario, they're just gonna bleed a banner or two. So overall, very happy with the fight, especially with such a huge speed commitment into his Queel, right? 343 is pretty fast. Like it's a lot of speed mods. Now this is where I'm starting to scrape the bottom of the barrel, right? Because we got this pretty serious Finn team, right? Like with the heroes, it's not like a cake in the, or it's not like a walk in the park. So I decided to bring in my Omicron Qui-Gon Jinn. I am still very new to Omicron Qui-Gon Jinn, right? And then there it goes, he does his AoE, and for some weird reason, Finn just like, OG Finn is the one that lives through it. I don't know, very weird. But okay, we got a 62 on that. Now he placed Ray and C in the back, which means we got 4 GLs, so I had to be really careful. I don't have Watt, so I decided, like, and this is a 12.4k I want to say offense Ray, so I have to be really careful. Like, I'm pushing the limits on my C for sure. So I link up Padme and Ray, because I figured they were going to be the fastest to move and the fastest to get me to my contract. Put the 2 sacks on C, and really why I brought Imperial Super Command or Gar Saxon in here is because he's a tank, and I need someone to really eat the first saber, right? And he did that admirably, I might add, because I'm not sure, right? I'm not sure if my C is going to be good enough for this, and so this is really like a test. My C has done some really amazing things, and in the past, like Ray Katz with close to 12k offense, so I'm kind of sure that like I can survive it, but we won't know until this next one, right? Because we shared the damage there with armor. Now this is where you're gonna see me. I relink so that way I get a little bit of my protection back, right? Because each move, right, I recover I think 15% protection. So I could have went to ultimate and just blasted somebody, but I really want to time out these saber throws because I don't want to receive like 2 back to back. But that's, I think, what it's about to happen, funny enough. Okay, so actually she does do the lifeblood. And at this point, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident that we've got this, and I'm really excited because, again, no Watt, right? There is, I think, a little bit more of a risk, especially with a pretty high offense Ray. This is the R9 Ray, by the way. So yeah, there's a lot to go in here that I was thinking about, at least. I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and kill off Xeris and relink up here again, recovering protection as we go, and yeah. There's another saber, right? That one's really not one that I really wanted to take. It just C counters. And so okay, we're probably gonna take another ultimate here is what it looks like. Okay, that's fine. I relink up again to just give myself a little extra protection. Not, you know, it won't hurt me. Again, you know, we're about half health there. Okay, so Ray died, and I'm now just gonna try and recover health, and I got the health back. I didn't get the protection back, so we got a 60 there. Okay, so here's his C. I didn't have anything for C. I placed 3 Galactic Legends on defense myself. He placed 4, right? You do some simple math and you know that there's going to be a mismatch somewhere. So here we go. I just decide, hey, let's try Grievous. Now, I'm not an expert on Grievous versus C fights, so I probably play this completely wrong. But the big thing is I really want to break the links as fast as possible to give myself the best chance at countering this team. I go ahead and put Extortion on C so that way he moves a little bit slower. That seemed to make some sense to me. And at this point, like I said, I really just want to break links. So I'm kind of choosing to hit Dooku on purpose. And then we get the counter, or we get the target lock, and then he stops, right? So ultimately, right, in my mind at this point, it's like, hey, if I can kill like 2 or 3 guys, I'll be super happy with this team, right? Because then I think we can really kind of limit people down. And again, I really want to break these links because that's how C gets his you know, his ultimate. And at this point, we don't want him to get his ultimate. We want to stay in this state as long as possible. Because again, I can kill a lot of people in this, right? So there's Dooku. Dooku's gone. And again, I'm not even sure if that's necessarily the right thing. Maybe we want to keep Dooku alive. This is like a really heavy relic set, very thick. And I didn't put the extortion on him there because I couldn't select C at this point. So he was not an option. Otherwise, I would have absolutely did it. But because we're deceived, we can, you know, actually do that. And again, in my mind's eye, right? Like if I can get this down to just like C plus one more, I'd be really, really happy. And that's what it looks like we're at right now. And then he links Grievous, right? And that's kind of where I'm like, uh-oh, we're in trouble. And I really want him to break the link on B1 at this point, just because, you know, I figured, hey, if that happens, maybe it'll buy us a little bit more time before his ultimate. But, you know, he's ultimate now. I still have 24 stacks of, or now 16 stacks of B1. And I figure, okay, this is it, right? And there goes the zap and everyone's dead. Okay, but hey, not a bad thing, right? So I decided to bring in my Night Sisters at this point. Now, I've seen some people say that Night Sisters can beat C. Probably if yours are more geared than mine. Mine are pretty bad. They're all like gear 12s except for like Daka and Asajj. But I decide, hey, if we can just get a ton of plagues on Sith Empire Trooper, he will die. Like, that is, C will recover his protection, but if we can land plagues, so you're gonna see me do a lot of specials, you're gonna see me try and like I said, just land a ton of specials on him, so that way we give him more plague, because plague will make him take a certain amount of damage just for taking a turn. And like I said, you can see he's recovering his protection due to C, but if we can get him with enough plague, he'll just die. And I think that is what ends up happening. I don't think we end up killing him. And I was like, and if we can kill Sith Empire Trooper, I think we have a shot. Like, I legitimately thought we had a shot. And this is why I picked this team second. Like, I thought, hey, we could potentially get him down in 2 here. And so we have 9 on him right now. This should add 11. It looked like one was resisted or something. But now he's at 12. So I'm really happy. I'm like, oh man, we're going to get this done. The links break super easy because he's killing zombie, right? And so that's a good thing for us. And now I can boost up Asajj's damage because Towson's dead. And I think if I played this differently, I probably actually would have got this on a 2-shot, which would have been pretty amazing actually, specifically with my Night Sisters. But again, right, this is the problem. I think I got a little bit too greedy with the links here. I guess it wasn't this one. One of the ones I get too greedy, and I think he links up like Asajj and I think Spirit or something like that. And I think that's where this match goes downhill. Yeah, so I think right here I'm like, okay, we're gonna use this as an attempt to really boost up Asajj's damage by all the reses. And I think again, you'll see he's ready to come link. I should have been paying attention to his link cooldown a little bit better. And yeah, I should have rezzed right there, I think. Yep, because here comes the link. And now Asajj and Spirit are linked rather than like Zombie and what's his name, or what's the name, Towson. I guess it didn't matter that much, but this ultimate goes off and fries, if I remember right. It's bad. Yeah, and then I res, and the only ones that can res are the ones that weren't killed by it, right? So yeah, I think like I said, I think it's a hard match regardless. I don't think like it's an easy one here to win, but it would have been really cool if we could have got this on a 2-tap. And the only ones that are resing, like I said, is Towson. So I think at some point I just decide, hey, I'm just going to let this time out, and I think I let this record for a little bit longer, but I want to make sure, what I wanted to do is make sure that he linked up first, right? I want that to be on cooldown. So I was like, I can kill a C solo. That's easy. All right, so there it goes. I let it play out. I let it time out. And now I'm going to bring in my geos. And here we go. So again, links off cooldown. That's great for us because we can sit here and ability block C all day long, right? And then he's not going to be able to recover protection. He's not going to be able to do... the only thing he's going to be able to do is basic, basically, you know? So I'm just trying to get as many hits on him as possible. Honestly, we're just trying to boost up Spy's damage at this point. And still not ready for the big hit yet. Still not ready for the big hit. Giving him as many buffs and debuffs as possible. And here we go. Boom. 382 damage there. 382k damage. I think that probably would have... like, that's honestly probably enough to kill a C outright. Okay. So then the last team that we got on ground phase was Captain Phasma with, you know, some leftover first orders. And so I just bring in Bad Batch, right? That's like a super easy win. So many buffs there off the beginning. And yeah, all this true damage is about to just start ripping through all of them, which is just awesome to see, right? Just a move. He just did a move. Like, it's not like an attack and still doing all that true damage. So 65 there, easy. Okay. Now we're going to move into our Executor fight. Right, a little bit RNG in here, admittedly, but we're going to try and make sure we do everything right here. So we target Bosk here with our specials, so we get the dodge, and they attack him, which is actually pretty good RNG, honestly. Like, you can't really ask for anything better, to be quite honest, because you were going to get the 20% turn meter anyway. So getting more from you're going to just overspeed it. If they kill a vulture droid at this point. So okay, we put some buzz droids on Bando, and at this point, right, we're gonna bring out Spy. We have a breach on us, right? At this point, you could bring out Eben if you didn't have any breaches. That way you could kind of select who you go for. We get Spy, and in my opinion, that's the least favorable action. Is right, you get Bando. Or Bam, or whatever you want to call him, but at least he's gone, right? And that's not anything to be upset about. And really at this point we were just trying to make sure that Cad is our next target. So anytime you can select Cad, target him, so that way he doesn't go back into stealth. And so now who are we going to bring out? We don't have any breaches out on the field, so we bring out Eben. We dispel that taunt, and now we're going to go after Cad Bane with a double basic, and Cad Bane's out, right? Even if we lose this fight at this point, this is a very easy cleanup. Spy is stealth right now, so I am just going to call in to assist and try and do as much damage to him as possible. I'm glad because the next move he came out of stealth, and IG 2000 just destroyed him. This is me looking at seeing like there's one that like does damage to buffs, so I was like, okay, maybe we'll do that one. That probably actually wasn't the right move because quite honestly we could have probably killed Boba earlier, and that would have been actually a pretty solid thing. But what we're going to do instead is we'll put a buzz droid on him, and he'll die to that. So again, the more ships you take out this first go around, the better it goes for you, or your better your chances are. All right, we do our ultimate here, and this is where Bosk is very vulnerable now that he doesn't have protection, now that he's kind of without a capital ship now too for a turn. And so I'm gonna bring in Soldier and do our special and get assist there, and boom, 62. Okay, so for me and my fleet, that's about as good as I can do. I've heard people being able to do higher, not me. It's like that's pretty average for me. You can definitely do lower, that's for sure. Okay, so we're gonna do First Order versus Empire. This is a very it's a very easy fight if everything kind of goes your way, but if you make one mistake, it can actually just really cause you to go downhill. So we're gonna focus on Bomber. We put the Hunted onto Vader, and we go right after Bomber, right? Because he's gonna taunt, and that's the way that goes. Okay, so we're dazed up. Now, I personally don't normally have a stun fact available, and he's just sort of an extra. I don't use him in my Executor counter, so then, you know, I don't, he's just left over, so I just thought, hey, it'd be cool to have a tank, right? That's what it comes down to. And at this point, we can select crew. We'll lose advantage though, right? And that's a big thing, right? Having crit damage up is great. Losing advantage though, not so great, because he had more than 50% turn meter when we did a basic on him. So you see there, like, right? It's cool that we had crit damage up, but you know, the fact that we're not, the fact that we don't have advantage. But once we have advantage, boom, like crit damage lands. It's lights out for Bomber, and now we're just kind of racing against, hey, can we get to them before the ultimate? At this point, like, that's truly what's gonna happen, because I've been in this moment before where you don't get down Bomber quick enough, and yeah, you're just really racing against their ultimate. So we didn't get a stun there at all, which is going to be problematic because Emperor Palpatine does have counters here, and again, trying to land stuns, it's not working. And so this gets really close to losing, right? You can see it's not the most ideal of situations, but here we go. We call in to assist, and boom, crew doing crew things, right? So end up with a 63 on that fleet. Not the best of banners, but you know, maybe some mistakes made along the way, and a little bit of RNG. Okay, so here we go. So we got a 1675 against a 4 GL offense or defense, sorry. And I thought this was one of those ones where I opened up the back wall and I was like, oh man, that is going to be a problem. And I think that's what he planned, honestly. Like, he planned for it to be an issue. But on the counterpoint, right, for his offense, he had, I think he would say that, like, he felt the fact that he didn't have 4 GLs, or that he put 4 GLs on defense. And that's the way that this is going to go, guys. Like, sometimes you're going to have moments where you, with heavy defense, you really live and die by how well your defense does. So I guess big learning point for me in this one was, hey, you know, just take a second. And it helps that I didn't stream this, because, you know, being live does add a little bit of pressure, right? Like, you want to keep the pace moving and all that good stuff. But, you know, take a second, think about what you still have left to use. Is there any way that you can maximize what you have left? And it came down to a few risky plays, and it ended up working in my favor. Now, he did not full clear. I know this because obviously this has been, we recorded this, and then he has since done his attacks. He did not full clear, so but great opponent anyways. Like, it was a heck of a match. It could have ended up the other way. Like, I could have been the one not full clearing, he full clears. Like, it just comes down to sometimes RNG, sometimes just a little bit of like, hey, how do you think about how can you counter something, right? Like, there's so many different things. Anyways, I just want to let you guys know that yeah, I appreciate you guys being here watching this video. And hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys took away some cool counters from this. And if you guys did like it, make sure you guys hit the like button and you guys subscribe to the channel. It means a ton to me. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.